What's up, blue chips? 2 trades today, one on NWL and one on SGEN. Let's get to it. All right, so we got NWL up here right off the scanner. Got the 50 break. See if we can get a little bit of an extension. Nope. Looks like it dropped right back under. We're going to take 48. We were hoping it would get up there around like 60, but it decided to stop and look like it wanted to reject at 50. So we jumped in there at 48. Our end goal here is down there under 19, getting a nice little drop here. See if we can continue. So VWAP came up. It's coming up pretty quickly. But our end goal here would be that previous resistance there in the pre-market. It looks like it was at 1888. But somewhere down near 19 is what we'd be looking for. Trying to test 50 again here. Let's try to be patient with this and see what it wants to do. If it wants to run, obviously, we'd be looking to add somewhere up near 19, like 75, it looks like, based on the range. All right, trying to get back up there through 50. It's kind of making up its mind right here, back under 50. So hopefully that's a good sign. We'll shoot down here towards VWAP. We'll just see what it wants to do here. It's kind of making up its mind. A little bit of an ascending pattern here now. Looks like we might get stopped out. We'd be stopping out at high of day if we get there, which is currently at 65. So if it wants to go over high of day and hold, we'd be looking to exit. Okay, we're actually getting a drop here. Nice. We're going to take half there just to kind of reduce our risk. Just the way this thing's been trading. See if we can get some continuation. See if we can get under VWAP and kind of hold under VWAP. It's right at 30 at the moment, so it's trying to bounce. There we go. We're under VWAP. If we can get a flush all the way down here towards 10, we just look to take it because this is a pretty big move. If not, we'll look for it to kind of bounce back into VWAP and try to hold under. There we go, 20, 17. See if we can get down there towards 10. It's kind of stalling. There we go. There we go. See if we can get under. We're just going to take it here. I don't think, yep, okay, and there it bounces. It kind of felt like it was done. I was hoping we'd get under, but split-second decision there to just go ahead and take it. So we'll be happy with that to start the day. All right, we're going to start SGEN. Kind of felt a little toppy here as it got through 83. Starting real small size. As you can see, the range on this is crazy. Plus our buying power, this is the top of our range here at the $80 area. We actually saw this on the scanner when it was under 80, and we just kind of had it up, watching it, see what it wants to do. All right, through 84, we're going to add there. That was on some good volume. What did we get? We ended up with 84.06 there. Should have probably been a little bit more patient, but didn't want it to get that hard reject over 84 and not get the add. There's a lot of volume that came in there. Probably some stop losses getting hit. Maybe a little bit of FOMO. We don't mind the volume and the quick move there, though. That's why we hit the button there. Hopefully we can get back under 84 and we can get back down there towards our average now at 83.57. And we're up through 85. I'm going to go ahead and hit it here. So now we're in 100 shares. We got 85.26 on those. It felt a little toppy. The spread on this thing is crazy. It's a pretty big move. Not a single red candle in the 2-minute. It's going to be our last ad. We're just going to 112 this. We sized in pretty well here, so not too upset with where we're at. Hopefully we found the top, and if it ends up going high of day, it's going to look like it was pretty much where our max loss would be. So, but if it wants to continue up here, we are going to let it find a top, and then we'll pretty much go off of that. It's kind of playing the waiting game here. We love the chart. The volume came in there, so we're pretty happy with it. Spread is just not in our favor. see if we can just get this move back down through 85. So we're getting this move up towards high of day. It's at 85.90. We're looking, if we see 86, we're just going to cover. Because if this goes high of day, that's our strategy. Consolidated, didn't break down. If it wants to go high of day, we're going to go ahead and cut it. So if we see 86 here, we're going to look to jump out of this thing. In fact, we're just going to go ahead and set a stop. Put it as a market because the way this thing's jumping around, it might not even get filled. We'll just put it right here at 86.01. It'll suck, but that's the strat. That's the high it's set for us. We're just going to have to accept it. So we're just sitting here seeing what it wants to do. It's coming up there, and there we go. And as I figured, we ended up with some slippage there. But if this wants to continue straight up through high of day like this, then the slippage is not a bad thing. But as you can see, that's not the case. So it ended up costing us 22 cents in slippage, which is nothing to laugh at. But, you know, we followed the strategy on this one. So we're just going to suck this one up and we're going to move on. All right, traders, that was my 2 trades on NWL and SGEN. As you can see, SGEN did not go in our favor. And to be honest, you know, right away, it kind of felt like we top ticked it with our cover because it started to come back down. Looked like it was going to be a little bit of a fake out over high of day, but it consolidated and it ended up going up a lot more. And somebody that's willing to hold through that pain, that would have been a lot of pain. And obviously in hindsight, now it's coming back down, but for all we know, when it made this move, it could have just kept on grinding higher and higher and higher. And yeah, so again, we are stuck to the principle of we are not going to let one trade wipe us out. It's not going to happen. We followed the plan. 1, 1, 2, consolidated, didn't want to break down, went high of day, we cut our trade, move on, right? So it hurt. We even scaled in super small. We were at the top of our range. We started with 25 shares, added 25 and then added 50. So we had a total of 100 and we still ended up losing $181.25, which is a little bit more than we wanted. Our max, our max loss that we would like to see on the day is no more than 100, 150 at the most. And this thing took us for a ride. But thankfully, when we got in, we realized what we were getting into, looking at the range, and we started nice and small. And apparently it wasn't small enough. This thing decided to, we were kind of going off these previous candles with our range. And then sure enough, it actually got some volume right after we got in. And made a pretty big move up. And yeah, so I'm not that upset with how we played it. It just happened to be one of them ones that didn't work. You're not always going to be right. You have to realize that in this game. Because if you don't and you think that no trade's a loser, then you're going to just, not make this cut like I did. And you're going to end up getting stuck in where it goes like this and it just never comes back down. And that's how accounts get blown up, especially if you don't size in correctly. So I'm going to leave it at that. The NWL trade, that was pretty standard. What you guys are used to seeing at this point. Pretty much top tick this one. Came back down, made a big move down, so we ended up taking half here right around VWAP, and then we took the other half as it continued and made a big move down, figuring it might bounce, but this thing just consolidated and then continued back down to that previous area that we were looking at. We were using that previous high right there in the pre-market. It ended up coming down and getting a little bit lower than that before bouncing, and now it's just kind of going sideways doing its thing. So that's all I have. Some days are going to be red, and we just got to learn from them and move on. And to be honest, not too much to learn from on this one, except maybe to start even smaller than I did, because this loss ended up a little bit more than I had anticipated it would have if it made this type of move. And that's really the only thing I can learn, because I feel like I played my strategy to a T on this one, so I can't be upset with that. The only thing that I maybe could have realized is when I got in, it was before these two big volume bars. So I was getting into a lower volume trade. And I always like to preach that I don't like the lower volume trades, because what if all that volume that is there are just bulls, So if you get in short and there's no one selling, unfortunately, that's the way it goes. So going to leave you guys with that. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Always appreciate the support. And if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, which thankfully is the start of a new month. We're going to be on the new platform, and I guess this was DOS's way of saying, screw you for leaving me. But obviously that's not what happened, but yeah. All right, guys. Peace.